Hi, I'm Rita. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Life Worth Reading. And welcome to a recent reads wrap-up. I think the last wrap-up that I did was in March. So these are all of the books that I have read in the last couple of months, which may sound like a lot, but they actually aren't that many because I've been slumping a little bit this year. So I actually don't have that many books to talk about, but still I am a big ol' yapper. So I'm going to need to, not elongate myself for too much when talking about these books, because that might just happen. I read a couple of books and I like to talk. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Let's talk about all the books that I've read most recently. So I have my trusty little reading journal here to help me go in chronological order, and the first book that I read in April was A Dangerous Collaboration by Deanna Raybourn. This is book 4 in the Veronica Speedwell series, and I am absolutely in love with this series. I love it so dearly. It's actually a problem. I am in love with Veronica and Stoker. I am in love with this Victorian mystery romance series that is just I can't. I just love it a lot. And this fourth installment was definitely my favorite out of the 4. It was a full 5-star, 6-star book. The tension between them, the mystery, the setting, it was so unbelievably great. Obviously I can't go into a lot of details because this is book number 4, but it was very romantically charged and we love that. We really love that. And I just had the best time, and I haven't gone further on in the series. I have to read book 5 through 9. I'm just scared for it to end, honestly. I know that book 10 is coming out next year, so that's exciting, but I don't know, I just don't want the series to be over because I'm having such a good time with it. And honestly, my dream is just to collect the American editions. I have the first one, A Curious Beginning, somewhere on my shelves. I'm trying to look for it. I can't find it, but it's somewhere on there, and I'm in love with these paperbacks, but they're more expensive because they're the United States version, and I hate, oh my god, I hate the UK cover so bad. So that's my dream, and I will be slowly achieving that. I'll be buying, I've said to myself that I'm going to buy like one a month. I still haven't. I still have the first one that I bought last year, and I just haven't read anymore or bought anymore. But this one was a definite 5-star. I loved this book dearly, and you have to read the series if you haven't. So next up, I read finally The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 1 in the Final Empire series, the Mistborn series, and I had already tried reading this a couple of years ago, and I couldn't get really past the first chapter. At the time, it was putting me in kind of a slump. I wasn't very used to reading harder fantasies, or more like extensive adult fantasies, but this time around I actually really enjoyed this book. It took me a while to read. It's very, in terms of plot, is very heavy, but I really enjoyed it. The writing wasn't my favorite. I think that Brandon Sanderson has a very simple writing that really does get the job done, but I'm more used to the Robin Hobb beautiful, lyrical, amazing writing, and so this one just felt a little simple by comparison. It just didn't feel as great. But honestly, Brandon Sanderson really gets it with the just plot and characters and the relationships between them. I just really enjoy that aspect of this book, so I ended up giving it 4 stars, and I was very excited to move on with the series. And I don't know, it was pretty great. I really enjoyed it. Then, still in the month of April, I read Blessings by Chukwuebuka Ibe. I buddy read this with my friend Mafalda, and we both really enjoyed this book. It is a queer coming of age story about this young man called Obifunas, and he is sent to a Catholic kind of boarding school because of his queer identity. And it is a very great coming of age tale. The writing is beautiful. It's very sincere. It doesn't really go out of its way to make you feel bad about the character. It doesn't capitalize on this main character's trauma and the bad things that could happen to him at this school. And bad things do happen, but it's kind of heartbreaking how subtle those events are presented. It's really presented as something that just happens to boys at the school, and just happens to boys who are queer in this reality, in this Nigerian very very strict reality that he lives in. So I really enjoyed the writing. I think I ended up giving it 4 stars as well. I think it was really beautiful. I was expecting it to be like a full 5 of a new favorite, but I'm still very happy that I read this and I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to see what this author comes out with next, because this was a great debut and I really want to follow his career as an author. Then right at the end of April, I actually ended up reading Hamnut by Maggie Farrell. Finally, this book has been on my TBR for over 4 years at this point, and it was a book that I was really intimidated by. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it. It was also a book that I tried reading a couple of years ago and I couldn't really get past the first chapter. So it was a book that I was also a little bit intimidated by and scared to that I wouldn't enjoy it as much as I thought. But honestly, this book was really so beautiful. It definitely is worth the hype, and I know it has a lot of hype. It took me a little bit to get used to this writing because it's a very particular kind of writing. It's a very lyrical, it's very lush kind of writing that it just took me a little bit of time to get immersed into, and it was just a different narrative voice that I'm used to. So it took me a little bit to get used to it, but honestly, when I did, I couldn't be happier that I read this book. It was so beautiful. The story of these two twin siblings and their story, and the way that you know this book is going to end, and even the mother and the Anne character that we had was so well written, and just the writing about grief, about love, about family was just a lot to take in. Maggie Farrell really does know what she's doing, and this book was every bit as beautiful as people said. I cried a little bit reading this book, not like full sobbing, but I did tear up a lot when I was reading this book, because there were certain passages that just really hurt a lot. I'm not even gonna lie, it just hurt a lot. But I'm so glad that I finally read this book, and it was so worth the hype, and I think it's so beautiful. And if you think you might enjoy it, give it some time, because it does take a little bit to get used to, but oh my god, it is so worth it. In the next month, May, I only read 2 books, and they were both rereads. May was a really chaotic month for me. I ended up rereading Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow, and reading Wondersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow, also by Jessica Townsend. And in June, the beginning of June, I ended up reading Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow. So the entirety of May and the beginning of June were dedicated to my reread of the first 2 and me finally reading the 3rd one, because the 4th book was coming out. I still haven't read the 4th one, but I will be getting to it soon. And I just really loved my time with the series. When I first read Nevermore, which was I think already 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't have a lot of high expectations for it. I'm not the best with middle grade fantasy. I think it's something that either resonates with you or not, because you are not obviously the target audience for it. But there was just something so enchanting and something so cute and wholesome and just intriguing about the series as a whole, about these characters, about this world. I love our main character Morgan. I love her little crew. I love the world building that we're getting, and it's just so charming in a way that, I don't know, just really spoke to me, and in a way that I was really happy to read about. And so I really enjoyed my time rereading this, and I cannot wait to get to the 4th one. And I'm so happy that I have like a kind of more, it's not even that cozy, like bad things do happen in this book, but I have some more lighter fantasy books to wait on and a series to follow, and it's just so much fun to return to middle grade fantasy. And honestly, this is just a great series if you enjoy middle grade fantasy. In June, I only read those 2 books. I read Hollowpox, and then I also read Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This is a book that I was really nervous to read because this is a fantasy romance. It's set in Regency times, and I'm not the greatest with straight up romance. I need for it to have plot and then a subplot of romance for me to really enjoy a series or a book. So I was a little bit worried about this one, but honestly I had a really great time. It wasn't as cliche as I thought it would be. The pacing was really nice. The book is quite short, so it doesn't feel like it drags on. The relationship is established quite quickly, but in a way that kind of just made sense, and the plot was intriguing as well. And overall I just ended up giving this 4 stars because I just had a really great time with it, and I really wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't expecting to root for this relationship, to root for these characters, but I really enjoyed it. And it's basically, well, our main character has only half a soul because the other half was stolen by Faye, and then she meets this man, a really grumpy man, who is trying to help her because he is a Faye expert. And so the plot just moves along really, really quickly. It is so nice, and I had a great time with it. I don't think I'll be reading anymore in the series. I don't think that the magic can happen twice for me, but I'm glad I read it. Even if I don't remember a whole lot about it, it was just a fun time whilst I was reading it. And finally, we have gotten to July, our last month that we're going to talk about, because I'm not talking about August yet. It's not done yet, so I won't be sharing the books that I've read this month and that I'm still reading. And the first one that I want to talk to you about is actually the second book, The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. I started reading this book probably in May, but I only finished it around July because, again, chaotic months. A really, really big fantasy book. I was budding reading this, so we were taking our time. But I love this a lot more than the first one. It got very political. It is true when people say that. But if people say that this book is boring, then I'm boring, because I really, really enjoy the political aspect of this book. The plot was so much more... It wasn't intense, but at the same time it moved slowly, but it built towards something. And I feel like I really enjoy that feeling overall when you're reading something that maybe doesn't move quite as fast as you were hoping it would, but you really feel like it's building towards something, and it really did. The ending of this book was so explosive. I cannot wait to start reading the third book. I think I'm going to be reading it in September, and I just cannot wait to see how this trilogy ends, because truly I can't figure it out. There's a lot that I still don't really understand about this world and about the evil forces of this world. So I really do want to get to the third one so I can finally understand what the hell is going on. But other than that, I really enjoyed this book, and it was, for me, it was so much better than the first one. This was more close to a 5-star, and I cannot wait to see where I land with the third one. Then in July, I also listened to Down the Drain by Julia Fox. This is a book, a memoir, that I was really, really excited to read for a long time. I think that Julia Fox is such an interesting, I was going to say character because she feels like a character, but such an interesting person with clearly such an interesting life. You have no idea what goes on in this book. If I told you half of it, you wouldn't believe it. So I really enjoyed this listening experience. I think that I was just gagged for the entirety of it. I just listened to it on the train and on the public transportation to work, and I was just constantly like, I cannot believe that just happened, but it did. And honestly, I don't know where she gets all her strength. I don't know how she's still doing so well, because what a life she has led so young. But it was so, I don't want to say fun because I don't want to capitalize on her trauma, but it was such an entertaining listening experience. And I think that she's so self-aware. She knows what she did wrong. She knows where she has hurt other people and where others have hurt her. And I think that I really enjoyed just how self-aware she was. And yeah, it was such an entertaining listening experience. I could not believe it, quite honestly. But if you can catch the audiobook, please do, because you will be gagged the entire time. Still in July, I also read The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. This book was on my summer TBR, so I'm glad that I finally got to it. And this book hurt. Oh my god, this book hurt. Where do I even start with this one? This is about our main character, Elwood, who goes to this academy, reform school. That's what I was looking for. A reform school, when he is wrongfully accused of doing something. And it just really shows us the horrible things that were happening in these reform schools, and how you could get out and how you probably wouldn't get out. And just, it was so interesting, heartbreaking, so sad, because it is true. It is a true story, and it's just, it was just a lot. But I really enjoyed the writing of it. I think that the end is brilliant. It's absolutely genius. I did not expect it at all, but it just left me so sad because you're really rooting for this character, for Elwood, to get out because he's so ambitious and he's so smart and he has such great values, and you just feel really sad that he's going through this. And the ending was just brilliant, honestly. The other book that I really want to read by Colson Whitehead is The Underground Railroad, because I've also read the Harlem Shuffle, or Harlem Shuffle, not the. So I really want to continue on with Colson Whitehead's books. I'm really glad that I finally read this one. And I cannot wait to see the movie of it, because I know it's really good. So I cannot wait to watch it. And finally, during my summer vacation, I think that the vlog might still be going up. Will I do that? It might. I read Mona by Paula Olozarak. This was so funny. It has a really low rating on Goodreads, so take my review with a grain of salt, because clearly I'm one of the only people that has really enjoyed this book. But this book is about our main character, Mona, who is an assistant professor at this California university, and she is an author, and she has just been nominated for a brilliant Nobel-esque literary award in Sweden. So the ceremony is in Sweden and she goes there. It has some really underlying darkness to it. I don't want to say the triggers. I think if I say the triggers, it'll just kind of spoil it, but look up the triggers for this book. It has an underlying dark theme, but overall the conversations are so funny. It just really makes fun. It's a satirical look into the literary world today, what it means to be an author who is literary, what it means to be an author who is more commercial, the conversations, the lack of self-awareness sometimes, the immense self-awareness sometimes. And it's just very stereotypical, but I found it to be really, really funny. There was just something about it that was so absurd, but also so real. And no, I'm not an author and I'm not in the literary world, but it just felt really authentic. Is it? I don't know, but it felt like it could be, and that was enough for me. So very interesting, funny conversations, kind of underlying darkness, but somehow I really enjoyed it. But again, the reviews are not in my favor. Check out the trigger warnings, because I might have a really unpopular opinion about this book. So these are the books that I've read in the last couple of months. Not as many as I would like to. I'm currently on book number 33 of the year, so I am not even halfway through what my reading challenge was supposed to be. But we keep going, we keep thriving, and we keep trying to read, and that's really what matters. I hope that you're having a great reading year. If you've read any of these books, if you have any thoughts that you would like to share with me, please do share them down below. And I hope that you're still around, because I haven't been posting videos very consistently this year. So I hope that you're still there. And if you are, you can follow me on TikTok, because I'm more present over there. It's very much easier for me to film a shorter video. But yes, I will see you in my next video, which will hopefully be a vlog that I'm really excited to share. And that's kind of it. So if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for bookish content. And I'll see you in my next video. I hope you have a nice day, and always remember that life is worth reading.